People are waiting for us.
People are waiting.
The broadcast is live.
Hey, we're
Hi guys.
and everyone's watching The Bachelor.
Bachelorette,
The
Steve. It was the Bachelorette.
Okay.
The ladies. Well, no, I guess that's the one I'd want to watch because it'd be like a bunch of dudes. That sounds fun.
I don't know if I've ever jumped on board with that. I guess I could really like it if I tried though.
I love me a reality show, but like recently I actually tried to watch the like a season of The Bachelor on Hulu, and I was like,
it wasn't. You couldn't do
this has gone too far. Like the thing that I loved got pushed too far. I can't. I have to go back. So
pushed too far. Welcome, folks. It looks like 4 people are viewing us. Some people are viewing us. Viewing us, perhaps.
Oh, comment. Love it.
So, welcome, folks. Let's see. If I can type and talk at the same time. I am Steve, the INTP. This is my wife, Renee. And we're talking to Dazey, aka Melody. And the reason we are talking is because we have all been...
Love it. We got the hashtag and everything.
We've all been tagged by objective personality as double feminine, TINE, CP. I assume everyone watching this already understands the cognitive function of nerdery, so I won't excessively explain that. Rather, I think it's cool if we just go on and kind of explain quickly a little background on us, how we got into OP, and how we feel about how we take this way. But all can start my name.
Wait, Steve, I'm gonna turn off my air because I think it's like making the sound weird. One sec.
Actually, since we're adjusting, I really don't like that I'm falling over here in my short clothes.
Wait, say that again, guys. I'm back.
We're adjusting.
Oh wow!
Adjustments.
Perfectly.
Doing it live, folks.
I love that.
Better.
Look at us in our SI.
I don't like this. You're too big.
Well, how many INTPs does it take to?
It's not.
I don't even know. Do a live stream.
That's better. That doesn't have. No, that one has arms. That's why it's making.
For goodness sake.
Daniel says their baby monitor bringing some interference. No, I think it was my fan in the background. I'm pretty sure because now it sounds clear.
It's still not in the frame.
Still not in the frame.
That's what I'm saying. This chair, no one listened. No one listened to this. This chair.
Fine. This is great. We have the sensory under control.
Okay, whatever.
Hello, everyone.
Let's start over.
Aww. You guys look great. It's great. I love it.
Hi, folks. So I'm Steve. I'm Steve, the INTP. I am by day a software project manager, which is a very, very boring job that pays bills. By night, I have done improv comedy, which is how I met her. And then we got married and had a child who hopefully will remain sleeping throughout the duration.
Oh, I thought you were going to say hopefully doesn't do improv comedy.
Don't want that for him.
We don't plan to steer the child into improv comedy.
It'll be thrust upon him. It is his destiny.
And I found out about OP just by being too interested in large books for too long. I've mentioned this in other videos, but the short version is that my mom and dad were into it because they learned about it in seminary as a way of making peace with each other and learning how to, deal with your colleagues without wanting to hurt them. So they introduced me to Please Understand Me Too at the age of 14 or something. They said quiz. I turned out INTP. Had that in my brain being INTP for a long time, using some Facebook groups around it.
Oh wait.
Looking up stuff on YouTube, found.
Steve, are you good?
Hold on, yeah.
Can you guys hear it? It sounds like we're in the ocean. It sounds like we're going on a car ride.
Yeah.
What's happening to us?
Is it us?
I don't know.
I just assumed it was you. Hold on.
It's gone.
It chilled out.
Yeah. I don't know.
A little.
I had an issue with my headphones a couple weeks ago where it was making an ocean sound when I was trying to record. Hold on.
Isn't that cicadas? Thanks, Bex.
Fixed it. With my headphone jack.
Oh, it sounds great now.
That's
she switched
so
back
weird.
to Mac, and it's supposed to explode everything.
Well,
we were just in the ocean there.
The floodgate will open if I start talking about all the little things about the computer.
So to conclude, I've been an
conclude.
INTP forever, found Dave's videos on YouTube, was like, this was interesting, found Facebook groups about them, got typed, and was like, that makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot
That's
of sense.
my story. Renee, what's your story?
Oh, do I have a story? Yeah, I mean, I mostly just got into Myers-Briggs stuff because of Steve. I had kind of like poked around tests before, not really taking it particularly seriously. I told Steve I got INFJ, and like as we learned more stuff, we thought that made sense. But after doing OP typing, we're pretty open to any possibility when we submitted me for typing. We were, yeah, like I wouldn't be like, oh, we were so like stuck on one thing. But then when we got that I was his exact type, like that's pretty much the only type that was like out of the question. Like we completely flabbergasted. Yeah. So I don't know who I am anymore. But having, yeah.
You have more?
Oh,
I don't
have, no,
no. Let's have Melanie tell us about her first.
Okay.
So tell us about you generally and about your OP journey.
Let's see. Mine was also, I started with MBTI as a way to cope with auditioning and like acting and like that world with like what I perceived to be like the shallowness of it and people letting me down. So like my coaches, people who I had on a pedestal, I was like, oh, they're letting me down. So I used MBTI and took the quiz and found out that I was an INFP. And I was like, oh, that's why I'm always so intense and I just need to be so authentic. And then like just naturally found the OP videos and was just like, oh, they're so like, why is Steve always so like mad? And then the more I got into it, the more I was just like, these guys are really onto something, because just the intricacies, like people are multifaceted, obviously. So they were capturing more of it. Like it made more sense to me. And then after I was a student for about a year, I think, I got on a call with Shan, and it turns out that they had been watching my channel. I made a channel that was part of the journey, and a YouTube channel and an INFP channel. And so Shan was just like, yeah, it's INTP. So that was hard to process, but the tidal waves and like the things that I would do to avoid FE and being moved, just like it was like something that I thought I was always hiding, like to myself, or like, oh, I'll take care of that later. So that really clicked into place with me. Like this problem that I was always hiding or pretended that I didn't have, I was like, oh shit, this really is me. So yeah.
I want to know much more about that.
Yeah. It's especially because we're all performers, it would be this fear of having too many feelings. And so it sucked for acting, because I thought I would never recover if I had too many feelings. So like I would get overwhelmed by it. So yeah.
Yeah. That is a feeling that I definitely had in doing improv comedy. I've done a little bit of actual scripted theater, but mostly just improv comedy, where it's like, you must have a lot of emotion because you're making it up. I remember first thing like, oh, I have so much emotion, too much emotion that can't be contained in other normal circumstances, so I'm going to let it all out on stage. And then I found out that like, no, actually you need some like voice work and some like, acting fundamentals, so you don't just like fall flat. But I still relate to like, oh, I have a lot of stuff going on inside that's not making it out to the world.
That's where I feel like we're different. Is like for me, so you're saying, oh, I need voice work and I need this and that. And for me, so a lot of the times I'm like, oh, I need to step up my game as far as acting training. I need to be voice trained and all these things. But I'm just like, are they, like the tribe, just saying I need that? Like my defiance, my masculine TI, the way I say, often wins out. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it their way. Like, don't control me, bro. So I feel like I'm mostly like the FE demon is, it's either like I gotta like do it their way, or like I'm just like fully like, no, like their tradition or their way of doing it is wrong, like I'm gonna do it my way. So that's interesting to me that you were like, well, I need this, when I'm just like, I don't need that. Like they're saying I need that, but no, like I don't want this or whatever. So it's like a
I'm pretty sure I have the least acting/theater training here. I've only done like improv comedy classes, and that's it.
Yeah.
I've heard about
for so long though.
Well, I've been like in workshops here and there, but I haven't like you've been to
You're
theater
not
school.
legit. No.
You've been to theater school.
Yeah.
You've actually had it be 4 years of the whole thing you do is people telling you to roll around on the floor and primal scream and all that stuff. I have not experienced that.
Oh yeah, and like I do relate to like I have a lot of memories of school and people being like, go further. How do you feel about that? And I was like, what if I don't feel anything right now? Like I do not feel anything right now. You told me to pretend I was a piece of seaweed, and I don't have feelings about that.
I feel like
but
there you go, that's seaweed.
Yeah, but I don't know if I felt like I couldn't have feelings. I just felt like too drained at a certain point, because like the first couple of years I was like, this is fine, and then like in the middle of school I was like, I am so drained, and if anything I felt like I was trying to do what everyone was doing, and I felt like an imposter. Like I felt like I was trying so hard to like have success in the same way that other people were, and by doing the activities that everyone else was getting a lot of stuff out of, like I just kept like running into this wall basically, and then I just felt like something was wrong with me, and I couldn't figure it out.
Mel, buzzword, imposter. Do you relate to imposter syndrome?
Yes, 100%, 100%. And that's a lot of, actually, maybe that's what led me, like in this one example, like that we're talking about, to being like really just like, no, like defiant, because I think that I tried to do it the correct way for a really long time, as far as like training, like being a good theater type of person. Like this is what a theater person is like. And then, you know, I naturally moved on to film, and it's like another story. But so I would like beat myself up so much because I wasn't how I should have been. So therefore, like I can't really be doing this. So that happens all the time.
I don't know what's up with this noise.
Ooh,
okay.
It's a mystery. I like how did you see that?
I'm just plugging in my headphone jack and unplugging it. It's so weird.
It's great though.
Okay, well, anytime it happens now, I'll be ready.
Anytime the comes to envelop.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm thinking of specifically with kind of what you're saying is I used to pick my audition pieces based on what I thought they would want me to do. And it took me so long to figure out like, no, like I should just go in and do whatever I feel like doing that day. Like, but that was really hard for me to figure out. And now that I've done improv, I don't feel like as stuck and like trying to figure out like how it works. And now I'm just like, oh, if I just go do my own thing, then I will probably find a lot more success. And if I don't, then that's like the amount of factors in an audition has nothing to do with me. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
For me, I think like if we're say, you know, theoretically we are all double feminine, TINE, consume, play, blast, sleep, including you, Renee, like that it sounds like the demon FE of just like, what do they want me to do? What do they like? That's how I usually get like, just sort of like so stressed when I'm like assuming that I know what they want me to be, and that's like, it sounds like it could be, you know, something like that.
Mm.
And then the improv, how it comes naturally, like I feel like that's a big like a play thing, like the NEFE play.
Yeah.
Like we're just like, that's so, that comes easy for me to like be like, oh, Steve and Renee are in a spaceship, they're in a car, they're in the ocean because of the sound thing. Like it's just like, that's fun. It comes naturally for us because of our NEFE play. It would appear for me. So it makes sense to me, I think, if you are indeed our type. What do you think, Steve? What do you guys think?
Thinking about imposter syndrome, I mean, I had to ask because that word comes up, and it comes up with INTPs a lot.
Yeah.
Don't relate so much directly to imposter syndrome of like, I feel like I'm not qualified to be here. I usually, very 4FE thing, I'm like, I feel like the tribe wants me to be an imposter. I feel like they all want me to pretend I know what I'm doing, or pretend I'm on the same page with them and just act like it's cool. And masculine 1TI is like, no, I'm not prepared for that. Also, no one is prepared for that. You explained this poorly.
Love it.
I feel that way a lot. But also in my life, I've been in situations where I am genuinely an imposter because I grew up bouncing around different countries. So there were times where it's just like, I'm here in the Netherlands and people think I'm Dutch. They think I know things. They think I know people. They think I know stuff that I'm like, no, I'm not aware of that, but I'll just pretend like it's fine. And then coming back to the States and getting over culture shock. First culture shock, and having people like think, oh, you grew up your whole life in Pittsburgh, so these things apply, and being like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like I've been in a lot of situations where just genuinely people think I belong there, and it's like, it's mine to screw up. Like I can pass until I let them know that it's like, no, actually, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Melanie, where do you live?
In Brooklyn, in New York.
Brooklyn. How long have you been there? How long have you been like doing the grind?
I probably since 2005.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been here, living here since then. But like I started it when I was a wee little girl, which is a long time ago. But yeah, I think like what you were just saying, Steve, though, like what is it called, nature versus nurture or whatever, like you like moving around a lot and feeling like an imposter in certain ways and then not. I feel like, well, yeah, it has a lot to do with how somebody is, obviously. Like I don't know the actual point I'm trying to make, but you know, you not feeling like an imposter has probably a lot to do with the things that you got to practice with your personal life. And then, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like I'm a bad blast, but
no, and that's part of why we're interested in having this like talk, right? Because you and I are definitely, we both feel comfortable in this type. Renee, we're still figuring out, just trying on the hat, but it's interesting to see what the differences are, just because personality doesn't explain everything, right? There's personality, and then there's nurture, like I said, and there's male versus female. There's a bunch of other factors that are in there that we're curious to see, because again, like, are the differences between me and Renee, are we the same personality type and there are other factors that are different, or is she a different personality type?
Well, and you guys talking about imposter syndrome, like I think everyone has felt imposter syndrome. So like that is such a catch-all thing. But I very much don't feel like that in other aspects of my life. Like I felt that way specifically in theater school, and that was a huge challenge. But in other aspects of my life, I almost feel like I'm like king of the mountain. Like I always feel like I'm in the in crowd. Like Melanie, I watched a video where you talked to two other INTP ladies.
Right.
And yeah, and
Heather, yeah, that was great.
I'm trying to remember this right, that like I think you talked about, or some of you talked about like feeling like on the outskirts in high school and like wanting to be in the in crowd. Like I think I was that like bitch in the in crowd. Like I think
that it could have, that was like a year ago or something. I can't even remember, but like that was either like, I really do feel like feminine sensory is a thing, because I was like, was that me or Kimberly? I think. Because I was sort of like the FE, like the femme FE, like trips me up too, because I was like, I could hang with the popular kids, but I also didn't, because I was very like who I wanted to be, but like I could, and I did. So it was like it was an odd thing for me. So I don't know if it was Kimberly or me, but I wasn't like fully not like, like nerd status, but also not popular
status.
Yeah. That's how I felt too. I felt like the popular kids were like, look, just like say these things and put on this hat, and you're cool with us.
It'd be great. Yeah, like if I could show up to these certain parties and just be like whatever, even though like inside I'm like, but I'm sensitive and blah blah, like whatever. And like a cool artsy person, like if I could go to the party and like do whatever, then it was fine,
I'd go to the party and be like, this is what we're doing.
This is what the cool kids, this is what they do.
You guys seem to be thinking about what the other person is thinking. In this scenario of theater, it's my job to do that. But I don't think I get caught up in doing that in other situations. Like if I'm at a party, like I can see him because I know him well, like calculating this person is talking about this thing in this tone, and this is the response that they may want me to have. Like in social settings and not weird professional acting setting, I'm like having a nice time. And I'm like, how can I personally fix this conversation so everyone's having a nice time? And like, that is definitely not the role that Steve takes on. But so yeah, I don't know. Do you feel like you direct conversation or have a lot of control over that? It's my ocean.
There's a bug like floating around here. I'm like going.
That looks like your response to the sound. Like
no.
No, you're like batting it away.
Oh, no.
It's personified now. Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, what were you just asking? I skip out often, and I'll be like, wait, what was she just saying? Oh my god.
Like, do you feel like you can
direct conversation?
You can direct conversation easily, or is that difficult for you?
Do I think I can? It takes a lot of practice for me, for sure. It takes a lot of practice for me to direct conversation. I don't like being a leader, but at the same time, like I really can go both ways. So I work on film sets in a lot of different capacities as well. And like, it comes very naturally for me to be an assistant director who is really literally their entire job is to like scream at everybody, tell them what to do, make sure they're in the right place, like legit, like your entire job is just like this, we have a time, we have to do this, we gotta go. And like, that actually does come really naturally to me. So like, not to be like, oh, I'm tooting my own horn, but a lot of assistant directors on film sets have been like, you gotta join the DGA, like, or whatever it's called. You gotta take the test. And I'm like, I do not want to lean into that part of my personality because it's
that's it. But when you're talking, I'm like, that's not me. I'd be like, oh, I love power. Not necessarily.
It goes both ways.
A lot of my typing video was about like, I'm now a project manager of the biggest I just completed the biggest project I've ever done, where like there were 40 people who were directly needing my direction pretty much every day.
Right.
It just exhausted me so much. And I was like, but it keeps happening to me in my life that like people are like, hey, at work or in the improv community or whatever, people are like, hey, you should be in charge. You should be in charge of this thing. And I'm like, why me? And I feel much more comfortable, like you're saying about being an assistant director. I felt more comfortable in situations where there's another person who has a vision of what we're doing. And I'm like, well, if we're going to execute that vision, then 1 TI, here's what needs to happen. So, hey, you
mean like when we're working together?
Yeah.
We do a lot of improv coaching together sometimes.
Nice.
We did have one question that had to do with what we're talking about right now. So
let's look at the chat.
Nurture says, how do you deal with imposter syndrome in a new crowd? Which is kind of also love Melanie, it says.
Love you, Prem.
Yeah.
Let everybody, Prem just had a live chat too with another NTP. So we'll here with us. Let's see, with imposter syndrome in a new crowd. Well, what is
talking about like leadership or like sort of the challenge of that? I think that kind of, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Should I answer? You guys
go ahead.
I feel like I've practiced so much now, like now in my whatever age I am, like I've practiced so much of like being in front of people, and I've embarrassed myself so much in terrible ways. Like I've been on stage and to a packed house and fully forgotten all of my lines. I've been there like for realsies and on and just been like to some crazy auditions. So like I don't know if it's okay now. Like it doesn't affect me that much. I've practiced so much being in front of new people, being an idiot in front of new people that I don't mind as much. Like it's just a lot of practice. It's a lot of like self-talk that I've put in, you know, like a system in place to like help me be not as socially weird or whatever. Like if I'm like, oh, they all hate me, they hate me, they hate me, they hate me. Like it's like I'll do my little self-talk to like be like, hi, I'm Melanie. They don't hate me. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. I feel like if I am in a new crowd of people, I need like a purpose. And like you're saying, if you're on stage in a show, the purpose is the show, right? And if I'm in an improv comedy show, I have stuff to approach that, right? It's like a scene needs to happen. There needs to be characters.
Yes.
I need to know where the characters are. If a joke isn't happening and the scene's failing, then it has to fail really big because eventually that becomes funny. Like I have an approach there. If I'm in a meeting, then I'm like, okay, who is in this meeting? Who called this meeting? What's the purpose? What issues are we seeing? What risks are there? What actions are there? Who's going to take them? What time frame we need? I have like a structure to go into. But if it's like we're gonna go to this bar that our friend recommended, and now we're just there's all of a sudden a whole lot of people here that we're talking to. I'm like,
this is a weird question. Do you worry about things when you're in the thing or before the thing or after? Because like the way that you talk about, you just talked about that, it sounds like when you're within the thing that could be scary or stressful, then like that's when it sets in the real thing. Whereas like for me, hold on, ocean.
I think it does. It's like a soothing ocean. It's so nice that you guys live in a spa. So nice.
Yeah, for me, I have like an insane amount of stress prepping, but when I actually start doing something, I have no fear.
It's that for me. Like, again, like each time I'm saying this, then Steve will come back with an answer. I'm like, but also that too. I do that. So it's hard. I guess it's hard to self-report. But
I can play with all of it.
Yeah. Like, what was I going to say? Yeah, like I relate to what Renee is saying about like I drive myself nuts before, but then when I'm in it, being like, oh, this is fine. But at the same time, usually when I'm in the thing that I was freaking out about, it turns out totally different than not that I feared, but totally different, even in the best case scenario. Like it's usually just not at all what I thought it would be, type of thing. Do you know what I'm saying there too? I always feel like I'm not clarifying what I mean.
No, it's because I have my look on my face that I know I'm seeing what I do to Steve, I'm doing to you right now, which is like I hear what you're saying, but I don't agree. I don't have the same experience. So I just annoying blank look on my face, which I only realized that I do recently from the typing videos. So I'm like, oh my God, nothing is going on there.
You're processing or something. Like it looks like you're like processing. You're like interesting specimen.
I had to inform her that she was an introvert. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Just like do not agree.
Well, my family is very extroverted. I didn't understand why I was tired all the time.
Oh shit.
But yeah.
And even like play first energy in your family. There's a lot of like
the
play
think so
animal.
Anyway.
They're not typed officially, but we're just like, yeah, there's a lot of constantly thinking about what other people are doing outside you all the time and having to keep up with that in Renee's family.
There was a question. What question did I wanted to ask you, Melanie. How do you see your TI in your life specifically? I'm curious about like how it benefits you, but also like how it trips you up and what that looks like.
I think my TI mostly comes out, well, that I am aware of, I guess, or that's on my mind right now, is just like how I approach my career. I'll like not, I always feel, I don't like talking about it either. Like, it's weird because it's like, not in a bad way, but I always get really weird talking about like acting and auditioning because it feels, I guess it's like an imposter syndrome thing. And it's not that I'm like, I don't believe that I am, but it seems like it feels like, I don't know, like weird to like to talk about it. But basically, when it comes to like getting an agent, auditioning for film and TV in New York City or whatever, there's certain ways that people do it here. For example, a lot of people, not everyone, will go to workshops where they can meet like representatives and all that, and you do like a scene for them or monologues or whatever, and that's like a way to do it. And also, you know, you go get your BFA, your MFA and all that, and you just do these things and you do them correctly. And I, like, my masculine TI is literally like, fuck that. Like, I will do this my way. I will do this more fun. I'll do it the way I care about. And so, like, I started working behind the scenes. Literally, I work at, let me not talk about it because I shouldn't. Like, I'll ask, like, I go up to people who are in charge of creative decisions, be like, yo, can I like sit in this writer's room or whatever? And they're like, okay. And so, like, it's like, this conventional way that's accepted is garbage, and I will do it my way. So it's like tunnel vision.
I definitely agree with the conventional way is garbage in the theater world, and I think that there needs to be such a huge overhaul with how we do anything, because right now it's just, I mean, I think it is kind of an abuse cycle how everything's done, but that's a whole other topic.
I don't know, but I'm like, we can chat about this because
that another time. I was like, this needs to not devolve into theater.
I can say as a person in boring corporate America who like was like, do I just do theater at night or do I want to really get into it? That there's been a lot of things where I'm like, this, if there was an HR department, none of this
would ever exist. Yeah,
there was any standards keeping, like,
the nonsense that goes on is ridiculous.
So do you feel like aggressively pushing how you want something to be? And do you just push that in your own life, or do you push that on other people?
I only in my own life, and it only gets to be a problem if someone's telling me that I'm wrong in some way. And it's not like, it never really becomes aggressive to like the tribe should fear me, like the cat energy, until somebody like crosses me. Like, I'm trying to think of an example because it's happened rarely, I believe. But let me think. Well, like, I guess another example is like, it starts becoming cat energy of like attacking the tribe when it comes to like, it sounds so mean because I don't cooperate for like traditional events. So like, no disrespect because you guys are married, but like when it comes to someone's wedding and they ask me to like be a bridesmaid and then learn like their like bridesmaid dance or whatever, like, I'm so sorry, it sounds mean. Like, and then like if they're pressuring me, and I'll be like, respectfully, no, I love you, I will be there, but no. And I don't show my disdain, but like when they're just like, come on, like this and that, like guilt trip, then I will start being like, then I'll start like, so
our wedding must be just like The Office.
I don't get that reference. I suck.
I don't know what he's talking about either. So do I? Now I'm like, everything you're saying, I'm also just like, Steve, do I do that?
I'm sorry. But also again, I don't
in a bad way. I'm questioning how I see myself now, because I feel like I would just be like, oh, that's so nice. But they would probably tell that I was like, this idea you have for your wedding is BS. People know, but like they know that like I usually will act and just do the thing anyway. But they'll always know a little bit that I'm judging them.
Yeah.
Yet I would always gladly go along with it, unless there was like super injustice involved.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I feel like you would
Yeah.
manage to make them do it your way.
Wait, say that again.
I feel like she would subtly manage to
That's
make
true.
them do it her way.
But this TI is very smart and crafty.
I'd like especially how you're doing this.
That's
and
true.
Just, like,
If they
plant the
assigned me a
idea.
job I didn't want, but there was something else I could do, I would wiggle my way out of it into something that I'd rather do. Yeah. But I would like let them keep their thing, and I'd be like, oh, good. Yeah, that's true. Which is part of the other thing that keeps not making sense for me with INTP stuff is I feel like I can sway people, and I threw a question to the wind in the OP group like a month ago about like what is lead FE, because like we've actually been wondering if like what type we thought I was we think I could possibly be Katie Couric, who's FENE, because like a huge aspect of what I see in myself is that I work with people and sort of get them to do what I want them to do. Like I feel like I'm a very successful director, and people often come to me for life advice. Like I fix people's lives all the time. Like they're like coming in droves, and I love each and every one of them.
She has people from high school who still check in with her and like let her know like here's where my life is going. There's just this hard stuff.
Yeah.
And she keeps picking up more of them.
Yeah, and like I just can't. I also like have an addiction to it. I'm like I kind of love fixing it. It's sort of a double-edged sword sometimes, but the sort of like persuasion thing that I have does not seem to be something that Steve has as much of. You've learned to BS, but it's like taken work for you to learn how to play that game.
So Mel, is this a lady thing or an INTP?
I think it could perhaps be a lady thing. Like maybe you haven't gotten to this type of interaction in your life, Steve, because I fully relate to this. And as much as I just sounded like a terrible person with the like, no, I don't want to do your wedding dance, thanks, bye. No. Actually, like my friends come to me for like advice and all that. Like it's not like I'm the best like supportive friend ever, but I do feel like I can objectively help people out and fix their life like as well, and this and get people to do what I want. Like as far as like I also like I can be a good leader as well. I just don't want to for this reason as well. Like I can look at someone's issues or things objectively and just sort of like it's like they're at a distance is kind of how I look at it, and it's just like, oh, we just fix them, like, kind of thing. So I can relate to that as well, and also feel genuine love. Like I wonder what that could be if you were the same type. Do you know what I mean? Like because I can relate to that too, and I always feel this genuine, and it's more of I like looking at individuals and like being like, wow, they're just their best self in their individuality type of thing.
That I really
the ocean, please.
I love that. It's nice. It's soothing. It's soothing.
Ocean breeze.
I guess I need to get this looked at, because yeah, I noticed it because I was recording my theater company's radio drama, and I kept getting this ocean sound every once in a while. Yeah, I'm probably gonna post about this radio drama we're doing in the OP group, because so many people watched my typing video and I like talked about it a lot. So people are gonna be like, oh yeah, that weird lady who we all typed SIFE is now an INTP, and she made a thing. So yeah, I'm just sitting here like wondering what it is about, because I could see you being SI, but I also like, you know, I just took a shot in the dark of like when I was watching you guys streaming revealing your, you know, alleged type, and I was just like NI. It seems like NI, but like I think it's the way like so. Yeah, I remember that, because like you just called it like the like sort of blank face, but it looks like you're just like in your mind like making connections or something. So I, you know, and he is just going, oh, she's NI because she's making connections. And like, you know, I don't know what you're actually doing. But like he would think I'm lead NI, and you would also perceive that I'm lead NI, even if I'm totally not. Like the whole typing group thought I was an NESI axis. So that's sort of what I've been leaning toward, because that seems to be pretty unanimous, but I don't know. Anyway, should we open the floor?
we can open the floor to questions. We can look at the questions that Mel asked of the group earlier. I knew I'd just say on that's very helpful. Thank you, Melody, to tell us about your experience of people asking you for assistance in life. I think the conclusion I draw there is just apparently dudes just don't ask each other for advice.
Yes, I think that's true. I live with NTP as well. I have an ENTP partner, and he hasn't been typed or anything, but I just see like the observer problems, just like this. We have the same like humor, and I don't know what the point of that was. I just skipped out. It happens a lot, but there was a point.
I guess that was the other like broad question I had for you before we switch gears is I super don't see myself having decider problems. I see myself having observer problems pretty hardcore.
Well, how do you, like, for example, with the sound, like you just handled it.
I'm very mad, just no one knows. Hold on.
Okay, that's fair. But like it's not not even a big deal. But I'm just saying, like, that like I feel like observers would be like lose their minds.
I've learned not to do it because it's like you can't walk into an audition and be like, my dress is fitting weird, my shoes hurt, and I hate my hair today. Like I feel like I've just had to like learn and adapt, but like I'm still mad that I couldn't get Levi to sleep and that I was late down here and that I'm still mad at the chairs. But I'm very, very poker faced about things.
It could also be like SI. Not having this like I don't know whatever,
but like I'm not concerned about how that's like affecting us or like the chat. I'm mostly annoyed at like it's bothering my own world. I don't know, I have no idea.
I'm just trying to like figure out like in this in Dave and Chan's like typing world where they're like, nope, she's your type, I tried again, and like or whatever, they're doing their thing again, and sorry, it's an INTP, and I'm like trying to see how they would perceive this.
But yeah, that was the main thing though, because they were like, we asked, we're like, do you see a decider freak out? And they were like, no. And we asked them again when we asked them to look at it again, and they still said no. They saw neither a decider nor an observer freak out. So
she's just perfect.
I'm just extremely good at concealing my problems. Like really, really good at it. Apparently.
We're going to get to the bottom of this.
I'd love to. If you could do it today and fix it all, I would be super appreciative.
All right.
Anyway, we don't have to talk about it.
Fascinating stuff. We've got some ENTPs in the chats talking things up. Prem and Dion and Vexed FE all talking about being ENTPs and finding it interesting to look at the...
Did you see how Vexed FE gave you some Pirates fan?
Oh yeah, I didn't know how to respond to that because the Pirates are just bad at baseball. So sorry, hometown.
We
take that, Steve.
We already said we're improv comedy people. Like
I realized that I have lived here since 2009 and have never been to a baseball game. And I was like, that's unacceptable.
I have gone to Pirates games 4 times. All were for work.
And he wears a Pirates hat because he gets sunburned easily.
Oh, well, representing your city, that's good.
Thank you for calling back to that
it's
question.
A very nice
I was
stadium,
like, I'm going to
though.
forget it.
It's a very nice stadium.
It is beautiful.
It's right in front of the river. So we were just passing by the other day, and we were like, it's really good that the view will never be obstructed. You can always see the town right from behind. Hopefully, it's really nice. But that's the extent of it. I don't know players' names and such.
Okay. Sorry,
but if you're a Phillies fan, you're wrong. That's.
I agree. I mean, but I'm from New York, so we have our FE value in the Phillies. It's not a thing here.
Not a pro Philly chat.
What if I told Renee that a lot of people disagree with what Renee thinks about her type?
Oh, we got some fighting words in the chat. I'm gonna tune in. Let's see.
If a lot of people disagree.
I don't know what that means.
What if So you think you're a certain type, and then the whole tribe is like,
What
no,
if I told
you're
Renee
not
that
that.
a lot of people disagree? Oh, if a lot of people said no, you're not that.
Yeah.
If everyone was like, yeah, you're probably this, I'd be like, okay. I think if everyone is on board, that's what we were talking about last time. Like, I feel like it's a triangulation. So it's like what I think. Oh well, even take me. That's what we were talking about. What the tribe thinks, what my closest friends think, and then what you think. Right? That's what we were kind of weighing.
We got this from Alexa Summers. 9 coins. Haha.
Wait.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I even like I sent
She did a
videos.
video where she did that with her hands, and it was like, there's 3 points of view here that are not lining up.
So like Steve really isn't on board with the INTP stuff for me. He's like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't explain some of the things about
I've
us.
tried really hard to like make the math work.
We've tried so hard.
Like, it's just a trip for me.
Because it would be so much easier. Like, I think OP is so great. We've been invested in it so long. I wish I could just be like, yeah, totally makes sense. Or these are some things I have to get used to. But it's just not, yeah, it doesn't, it's just not making sense for me. Has she watched some female celebrities? Yes. Yeah. I have watched everything. I have watched like a slew of INTPs. I sent all my friends that clip of what's her face.
Yeah, we have Judy Greer with us right here. So.
yeah, you're super Judy.
Already taken.
But my friends, like 5 of my closest friends, a video of Judy Greer and a video of Katie Couric, because for some reason that was like a type we tried out for a minute. Katie Couric is a skib EJ, which is like a really weird strange type, but it's FESINETI, but play first. So it's kind of the same things, but rearranged. So that was like, we were like, maybe. But anyway.
Lena Headey, she's similar, a similar type. I can see her sort of like pensive, like something. She was I think her name is Lena. Cersei in Game of Thrones.
I could be like her. She's cool.
I can see that sort of like something here in maybe watch her. She's very close. She's just I think it's sleep blast, consume play sleep blast instead of blast sleep.
Yeah, we watched a lot of the aliens, the NEFE people first with their alien eyes.
Yeah, I'm definitely not an alien. That's kind of what we concluded from that.
Yeah,
like the ENTPs, I don't think I'm that weird. Hello, all the ENTPs. Like, y'all are such beautiful creatures.
I just admire that the ENTPs don't take things personally in the way that I do. Like that, like living with an ENTP, that's my biggest fascination with my ENTP partner, you know, my alleged ENTP. But like, it's just so true. Like, they don't have the decider weirdness, and so jealous. Screw you guys.
That's great. Like right now,
Lisa wants us to answer the questions.
Oh.
Lisa, I also took liberties and asked the questions without consulting Steve and Renee, so my bad.
You're good.
I would say rewatch this and think, what? I would say rewatch this video tomorrow, Renee, and see if you think you are all totally simpatico with one another, like type twins theoretically would be.
I don't know if type twins theoretically would be, especially this type. Masculine TI is so individual, I would say. I don't know what you guys think about it.
That's what I wonder, if I'm the specialist snowflake in the world and I think both of you are idiots. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I really don't think that's it.
Well, and I think this when I'm in like a Facebook group for INTPs, which who knows how many types of INTPs there are in there. But I often get the sense around other people who are typed INTP of like, we're both the same kind of socket wrench. We both do the same kind of thing. So like, there's it like interaction doesn't necessarily make sense on its own, because it's just like, so I got the logic covered, you got your logic covered.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really, I think that this would be a really hard type, because we're all so, I feel like individual, like, or whatever, like, I don't know, I think I just said that, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying anything new, but like,
Mm.
I guess I'm processing how like it really could be that we're all just like, I don't know, like just ourselves, and I don't know how, are you your type? I don't know. Like, it seems like it wouldn't be as obvious.
Dion just popped up with a comment that says, yeah, I don't always connect with other masculine TIs. Sometimes it's more like a repulsion.
Yes, it's truth though. It's truth. And it's like, I don't even mind because it's truth. Like, we have our own thing we created, our own train of thought. Like, it could very well be that we all are, but ours are different. Our masculine TI tunnels, you know what I mean? That we dug or whatever.
Yeah.
Should we do questions? I'm feeling tribe pressure.
Ask questions here. Samel asked in the Facebook group for questions, and we have a question from Lisa Garcia, which is, how afraid of the tribe are you?
Hold on. The ocean must go away.
I really like it. It's an ocean breeze. That's right. It's still the hula. I love it.
How afraid of the tribe are you, Mel?
Afraid of the tribe. I guess like it's just similar to what I said before. It's just like I like assume they won't like me. So or like I have a hard time cooperating sometimes. So it's like either tribe weirdness or it's not so much fear. It's just like well, they're not gonna like me because I won't do the things that they want me to do. So
see, that is the thing that I disagree with the strongest.
Okay.
Maybe narcissist, but I always assume everyone will love me. I really do.
And
like
and
people like me. I mean, not that people don't like you, but it's like.
But the contrast is strong here.
That I will be liked.
The contrast is strong here because I too am often afraid of the tribe will reject me. And when the whole tribe is like, we like that thing you just did, it was good, I'm still like, yeah, but they're not really showing that they liked it this much. So probably they're just being polite, and secretly they're going to all turn on me later. And I just have to be prepared that that's going to happen. And Renee's like, what are you talking about?
Well, and you always make fun of me because if one person is not liking me or something, I'll be like, well, I'll just find someone else then. Goodbye.
What do you mean by like? I guess I'm thinking of how it could be that if you were that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to look through this lens of okay, you're our type. So how does this add up? And it's what are you saying when they say define that term? Do they find you intelligent, so thereby you have value? Do you know what I mean? I'm just really just picking it apart. You know what I mean?
What does mean? That they
in this instance, you think that you will
be my friend, I guess.
Yeah. So they can have fun with you.
I don't assume fun.
I'm just doing this to be how will this make sense in our type? So no pressure.
That I'm fun and not annoying, and I don't know.
I guess it's then that seems like an
I'm someone who if you're if I'm in your class or we accidentally lunch together or we get stuck on a walk. We're both walking back to our cars at the same time. I'm never oh no, this person's thinking they're stuck with me. I'm right. That person's stuck with me. We're gonna have a great time.
This is NEFE play. I feel all of us would be good because in that way, same. I agree with what Steve said. I was saying what I said, but also when you're saying that, Renee, I also on instinct, I'm yeah, we're gonna have a great time together. That's my first. I am bubbly as well, or sometimes can be, but I'll be I can offer all these great things to talk about and this. So I also can come in being of course they like me. I'm great. I'm this, I'm fun. But also at the same time, if I'm approaching the Facebook group for OPS, it's uh-oh, they're not going to like what I have to say. So it's both equally.
Yeah, my take on that is if I'm walking through downtown back in pre-pandemic times, if I'm walking through downtown and across the square, I see someone who I know, my first instinct is, oh gosh, hide, not right now. Oh gosh, no. But then the second they see me and eye contact is made, it's they know I'm here. Then it's hi, how you doing? And I'm the play just happens. Like, I almost feel like I'm not doing the play happens to me. Like, it's just like, engaged.
Can I tell you what the first thing I think of when I see someone, like,
Yes.
from afar? If I see someone from afar, I don't think, oh no, I don't want to talk to that person right now. I think of these types of things, which is they're too far away for me to yell, but they are not close enough for me to walk up to. I want to interact with this person, but there's a stoplight right now. So I could go that way. Oh no, I can't do that. Like, it's all of this
sensory
all of that stuff that's first.
yeah.
But I don't think, oh no, I can't talk to that person. I'm like, how am I going to talk to that person, and what the hell is going to get in my way? That's what I would think.
Yeah, I'm seeing some like non-decider stuff. I don't like it. I want you to be our type.
I would love that. I really would. My dream tonight was that we would talk to you and I'd be like, oh, a lady who's like me, because I don't want to be like this fool. No. But I just feel like such an observer.
But
such observer problems.
I want to watch your typing video, because I'm determined to be like, no, we can find that thing, like, because like I guess my thing is,
and if you can make sense of it, and Steve can make sense of it, that lead TI man, I will believe you every step of the way. Yeah,
my thing, like, I want to, like, you know, Dave and Jen are like booked up, but like my thing would be like, please show me the evidence. Like, I want to know, like, you know, how did you, because I don't think they do this lightly. They've dedicated, you know, I'm not like trying to be like the best ever. This is this pedestal, but like, I feel like their entire, you know, they have their lives are kind of revolved around this. So I'm like trying to figure out if it was just not really true, like.
Well, and it's a tricky thing.
But also, who knows?
Yeah, it's a tricky thing in the OP community to both acknowledge Dave and Shan's fallibility and also like, yeah, but they're really good at what they do.
Yeah, I guess it's just like, it would be, because everybody fucks up, you know what I mean? But it's just like, it would be interesting to see what happened if the, you know, it's just like, this is their lives kind of thing. So
I think the patterns they see are definitely real patterns, but also since they're NISE types, it's entirely possible that they have like
missing some stuff, right?
Patterns that are really, really accurate, but are there other patterns that they're less likely to pick up that might be pivotal?
Yeah,
I feel like we should be able to talk about that without it being like, they didn't pick this up, everything is wrong. It's like,
right. That's but yeah, that could very much be what it is.
Not that I want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but didn't we look at like I don't know, people who make charts and graphs and shit? I don't do it,
you guys, because it ain't me.
Someone put data together that like TINE was like one of the highest percentages. Do you see how I'm looking for him? I'm like, do you have the logic, please? Do you have the information?
Laura Miller on her YouTube channel did like a video that was graphs and charts and statistics, and it was fantastic. And yet, TINE was one of the more commonly a type that Dave and Shan more commonly dish out, and that specifically CPBS also is an animal stack that they deal out commonly, which was also part of it.
Interesting.
Of course, right after she made that video, then they looked at like they looked at the Olsen sister, who's SIFE, and then they looked at Nancy Cartwright, who is ENFJ or whatever,
proving all fools wrong.
So they were like, here, more FE examples for you, tribe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Rose asked me, what type do I think I am? What type? Definitely not. I'm definitely not a lead SE or a lead TE. That's for sure. I do not have those things. We thought that I was INFJ. What was the last video we did? Because we talked more about that, and then I can reference all the.
I'm not sure.
Can't you just say the things that I can't?
Only half the time.
Read my mind. Just do it.
I don't want to find the sensory information. Please find it for me, please.
Just intuit it for me. There's too many directions still.
So originally, pre-typing process, we thought I was INFJ, which is hilarious. That I think it's fun, like extremely funny that we were wrong, because people who think they're an INFJ is like such a joke. Like everyone's like, oh, I'm an INFJ. So like I'm in love that I was wrong in that way.
Yeah.
So anyway, our last video that we did, which was a stream, we kind of went through like our process of why we thought I was an INFJ and how that compatibility, how we saw like our compatibility as a couple. So if you want more information about that, you can check out the last stream. You watch us forever to figure out that information. What is this EP/LC thing that I'm seeing? But does it mean something that I don't know about?
They're calling you epic, really.
I hope so.
Love that. I've typed her, maybe EPIP. Is that what you meant, Emily? Yeah, I need to like check in with this chat here. What's going on? We got some stuff. Wait. Okay.
They're like having a great time with each other.
The INTPs are going nuts.
Yeah, I love it. I really like the stuff that Dion is saying. It's really like really fair points. Dion, are you masculine sensory? I feel like masculine sensory always like, I'm just like, oh God, the voice of reason, like always like for some reason seems to be just like they have the answer.
Dion says something to consider in a relationship or family. Someone's going to feel responsible.
Yeah,
but basically in a room of EP, someone is going to do the control. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we, that was one of the things that like Dave talked about in like my feedback was like, maybe you guys take on different roles. So Renee's personality seems really different, but like outside of our relationship, like my friends, our mutual friends wouldn't perceive us as similar, or my friends who also know you, like people would say very different things about us.
Like Melanie, just you talking about being an assistant director, I was like, yes. In a way, like any of Renee's jobs, I've been like, that does not sound like a thing I would be good at or attuned to, or like.
But this, Steve, the way I was talking about it, I'm not sure if you like the assistant director on film sets is basically the one in charge, like almost like above the director. The director gets to just be like, whatever, I'm just doing my creative stuff, and the AD has to take charge. So like, I don't know, like, I don't know if you like. I feel like I thought
agree with that. It's
okay, cool.
Taking charge, but having a vision to do it. Like the other person is responsible for the vision, and I make sure that gets executed. And because I have that, I'm cool with telling everybody to do whatever because they have to get in line with this thing.
Yeah.
He tends to be the vision person.
But also is a great director and can help rearrange people's life. I guess I'm just really gunning for Renee to be our type. I just want this.
Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint.
You're like, no. Stop it, Melanie.
Melanie, do you think that Renee is the same type as you? I'm detecting that you do. Brain explosion? Oh no, that's glasses.
So Vex, it's not that I do, it's that I like, so we came in here like, this is a possibility, and like we've, this system that I respect is just like, nope, she is. So I'm just like, okay, like how could this be real? But it's also not that I don't think she is not my type. Am I speaking words? Like, what am I saying? Because I'm like being a real creep, and I'm like, do they look alike? Is the facial structure like? Because I feel like if I see Steve, like I'm like, there's some things that I can see like about me, like, and I'm like, I don't know if this is BS because I was told I'm an INTP, like that I see this similarity or not. But I'm trying to find the ways where this hypothesis or whatever could be true. And there's a lot of things that I don't know about you yet. Like we're talking for, an hour. So I just want to be like, Renee, tell me everything. Like everything.
I'll actually unload my type videos for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it's not that I definitely do. I want to know the truth, like as masculine CI, like I'm not tied to anything.
That's why we called on you first as a fellow truth seeker. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When Steve was typed and we watched all the videos, of the same type. Even when I saw your video when we didn't know my type, I was like, whoa, she's a lot like you.
Yeah.
And when we went back through and we're like, are we like, obviously this is something we hadn't thought of before, but we watched all different types of INTP ladies, and just, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, and it wasn't when I saw the video of Pete Buttigieg just like reacting to questions, and it was like, that's weird.
Yeah, you guys, that's why I'm just like, so when I see Judy Greer, sometimes I'm like, this is creeping me out, dude. Like, so that's why, like, I'm like, this system that's coming up with these things where I see patterns I can't necessarily put into words. I'm like, I'm really trying to rule out every possibility that they would be like incorrect, I suppose. Because
Dave and Shan weren't like, Renee, you are definitely this type, dead woman for sure. They were like, this is our best guess.
Best guess, yeah, of course.
I didn't use the words best guess in the way that they've been in the emails circulating lately, but like, that's the vibe that we got. Definitely.
Well, yeah, they don't claim to be infallible, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think in my objective opinion, I'd be like, okay, like, I want to see your typing videos. I think there is something, especially to what Dion said, is you guys are in a relationship, and you adapt to the person you're with. Like, I've been with my alleged NTP for more than 10 years at this point, and I know that I changed to accommodate this person. So
pause for ocean dismissal.
Yes, that's right. We're swimming in the... Oh, we're back on shore, ladies and gents. But yeah, like, I really think relationship roles are like, and I don't know how you guys interact, but I think that could be something. Whether or not it has something to do with your personality type is a thing. Like, who knows? And then I would be like, Dave and Cheyenne, can I have the info? Like, this is their business. They're not going to just be like, yeah, sure, here it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So,
did we look at how many questions did we?
There are more questions.
Yes, there are many.
One question that Mel gathered for us is from Zoe Stein, which is, what annoys you about TE users?
You guys go.
Question.
I don't understand what TE users are doing enough to tell you that I'm annoyed. They're doing something in front of me, and all I can think is, I don't know how. Okay, you just continue doing what you're doing. That's my response to TE users.
Yeah, ENFP jumpers like Reggie, like you're like,
I don't know what you're doing, Reggie. Wherever you are out there, I don't know what you're doing.
Where's he, Reggie? Where are you? You just abandoned.
Entertaining, but I don't know what I'm watching.
What do you think, Steve? Stop hiding, Steve. Tell us what you think.
It's tricky because I had like a definition of TE in my mind before I came to OP, and I had certain people in my life that I had slotted into that category. And then it's like, nope, they're not officially typed. I have to look at only people who are officially typed as TE to see, am I seeing the same patterns that Dave and Shannon?
It's Reggie's birthday. Happy birthday, Reggie!
Happy birthday.
So stop yelling at us. We're like, sorry.
Gosh, that's the best. TE is magic. Happy birthday, Reggie. Okay,
yeah, continue. I mean, my impression of what TE was, an impression of TE people was like, just do the next thing that logically works and then move on to the next thing really quickly, which, yeah, my impression of what TE is doing compared to my TI is I'm just like, why are you doing things sideways? And that seems to also be how the people who I think are TE view me too. They're like, why are you going so deep in this direction? So just do that and then do this thing and then do the next step and then you got a result. And I'm like, but you left all this mess along the way. And they're like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do it again. It doesn't make a difference. And similarly, they're like, why are you doing it sideways? Why are you doing that when over here is all that matters? And it's still logic, but it's just applied very differently. That's my impression. How about you?
I guess like when they had the class, if you guys people in the chat and etc. have watched the AOC class, and she was like, just like bringing out all these different arguments, like when one didn't work. I don't know if anybody knows the reference I'm talking about, but that was just like that was the best grasping of TE. It's just like it doesn't seem like lying, but it seems like fickle or something. Like it just seems like she's like, well, try this, and it seems like chaotic in a way that, like, as a major skib, it takes a lot to be like, oh, this is chaotic. But I don't know, it seems like it's hard for me to, like, it seems like they're just saying things to you to try, but like you're already doing your own thing. So what is the point of you telling me? So I find TE annoying because, like, the face that you just made, Steve, you're just sort of like, oh, what? Like that. It's like, why would I do that? Like it's, yeah, I find it annoying because it seems like you don't need to go through all these things to do the thing that you were working on. Kind of, but that's a very general statement. I'm sure there's plenty of times when TE is good. So
yeah. No, I definitely see the value of TE where I'm like, yeah, I would have been trying this one approach forever. And like, if you just did this other thing, you might get a result quicker, or you might not. You don't know until you try. Like, I definitely see that valuable rather than like in the same thing forever. But then when you need it to be repeatable, then you need TI to make it like work every single time because it's not dependent on whatever else is going on around. So like, you definitely need both. Definitely need both in life.
Like, it takes all of us special individuals to make the world go round. Like, it's true. Okay, wait. Yeah, what we got?
Lisa Garcia.
Right? It's all right.
On how I'm getting ahead of the weird sound now. Thank you.
You
also asked, where's the FE?
Yeah, because I was like, Lisa, stop yelling at us.
Oh.
You're just like, that sound, it's Reddy's birthday. Like, I'm just like, I feel like, I'm sure it's her functions. Like, she sees life in a way, because we're all special snowflakes in our own special way. So probably our TI and E might be like chaotic or whatever. So I'm like, stop yelling at us. Anyway.
Vex Steffi asks about the ongoing grudge match on the groups for the Ultimate Dramatist Championship belt. I'm not sure who's competing in said grudge match. I don't know if I'm familiar with who's competing for that.
Yeah, let me see. What do you all like in the ongoing grudge match to be the groups for the Ultimate Dramatist Championship belt? Like we know the FE. Like, what are you talking about? What? What do you mean? I don't even know what that is, Vex. Fill us in.
What's AOC?
Politician Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
That's right. It makes me like stutter because I'm just like, wait, okay, I have to stop and think about it.
Oh, reference to a person that yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's easier if I think about her name in Spanish.
Yeah, like for me, I'm just like, I don't want to fuck it up. So AOC.
If I imagine it with the exclamation points around it, it makes more sense.
Sound is becoming more frequent. That is okay. All right. For Steve and Renee, what's it like being the Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt of INTP?
I'm waiting for this one.
What did you call us? What did
the Brangelian Tipina.
Yeah, we're gonna trademark that. So
nice.
There
you go. Grab all the handles on all the social media.
I hope we are. No, I don't feel like we're the same type, unfortunately, or fortunately.
We feel there are significant differences between our personalities.
Yes.
But also, here's the thing. 512 types is what OP has. There are 8 billion people in the world. So if the types were evenly distributed, which they may not be, but even still, that's like 160,000, no, many more than that there's just so many people, even within a 512 type, there's so many people. So there's bound to be variation, even if you're one in 512, 1/512th of humanity is still a lot of people with a lot of variation. So it could be that we're the same type, and there's just other ways to account for that variation. It's possible, but whatever it is, there's definitely differences.
So we hope we're as good looking. That's for sure.
Love it.
Don't intend to have quite as many children.
Love that.
How many children do they have? Like 1 million?
I feel like 6.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gray has a bunch of questions.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, did you see Vex said the war between Phoenix and Joey for biggest drama person? Come on, guys. Like, come on.
I feel like there are more competitors in the drama wars than just those two. I feel like there's
Yeah.
I feel like there's dramatists galore.
Fully agree. But like I just was just like, are we really doing this? I'm so about this, happy, blah. But yep, that's true, Steve. That is for sure true, and that's the tweet.
There is no shortage of drama. No shortage of it.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
All
I'm
right.
looking on my Facebook over here on my phone not to see the questions that people wrote.
Yeah. Gray asked us some questions, and the first one is specifically for Renee. What are the parts you feel most unsure of in the FFTI-NECPBS type?
Joey versus the world. I think Joey is a nice guy. Sorry, I'm just like looking at this chat here too. Okay, so wait, Gray's question. Sorry, okay.
Are you unsure of, Renee?
I am most unsure of the decider observer thing. I just don't identify with decider problems really. Like I feel like we would unify on more things, or I would be like, I understand that problem, whereas I give that blank look that like yeah, that I feel like I give where I'm like, I want to know that inside myself, but I do not. So yeah, that the lead TI, I do feel like, because I recently asked my friends, like, what's the first thing about my personality, just to kind of get a grasp on, like, if I see myself, and a lot of them said that I'm very direct, and, like, say what I think kind of deal, and I've been like, is that TI? But the way that I see TI manifested in him doesn't seem to be the same with me. So I can't really wrap my head around being lead TI. I've come around to feeling like my consume is higher, because I thought I was consumed last. I thought I was last, sleep, play, consume. I'm gonna plug in the thing. But now I think I recognize that I might just consume in a different way than Steve, maybe. And that just looks different, because in comparison to watching other videos of blasters first, I'm recognizing that I am not that. And it makes more sense to be skibby, perhaps. And then the other big thing I've been swayed on, now I'm not talking about what I'm not, but what I think I could be. But like SE-NE is starting to just make more sense, because I do talk way more like any folk than I do like NI folk.
SI-NE. You said SE-NE.
I trust you. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, those are the things that I'm really unsure of. And it's hard for me to see FE last, because I've always, I feel like I've kind of built my identity around being a tribe connector person. But whenever I say it that way, I'm like, now you all think I'm just typing myself upside down and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm that lady. I'm that person. But yeah, I've just always thought of myself as like the person who makes safe spaces. Like I'm going on too long.
No, keep going. I'm like this, I'm getting into a flow. Keep going.
Okay. So we've always thought that my mom is like typical ESFJ, like has everyone over to dinner, but is stressed about it, but everyone's happy at the end of the day. I have a lot of those, like, come to my house, I'm going to feed you qualities. I like started a book club. I started a theater company, and like make sure that everyone's like treated fairly and employed nicely. And uh, like that's just always been a huge part of my identity. So for this INTP label to be slapped on and FE being my demon is like extremely confusing to me, which I do understand, like watching a lot of these, you know, celebrity videos. They're always like, are these people doing their demons and, you know, are preaching the word of their demons, or are they preaching their saviors? And I'm like, I don't think I'm preaching my demons, because I don't feel insecure about it. Like, I don't feel insecure that I have a book club that I run and that I'm like having everyone share their feelings every week. Like, I don't feel insecure about leading rehearsals every week. In fact, I feel like very good and powerful, and like people often compliment me for making a safe space for them. So that's really confusing to me. Anyway. Yeah, double activated FE. That's cool, but like the way that Steve talks about his FE does not seem to be in the same way. And all I keep thinking of is like, if my SI is more of my demon, then why even have the order of anything? Like to put it bluntly, like what the hell even does it matter to stack these things in this order if FE isn't my demon and SI is my demon, and I don't really use TI that much because I've relied on it? Like, what? Like, that's kind of how I feel about it at this point.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, I think, yeah, like it seems like they're in beta, so like some of it is like a little could be worked on for sure, but like I could see, I mean, I guess I'm like looking to, like when I was just like, oh my god, wait, I think I'm hearing somebody. It sounds like your identity is really like to know your identity, so I could see identity being a savior, like, you know, your whether, you know, whatever it is. So I mean, I was hearing that when you were sort of in a flow state of talking.
Hold on 1 second.
I love that. We just went to the beach.
Yeah.
And but you know, it could be like I don't even pretend that I could be a great typer, but I could see how your identity, you seem solid with your identity. You're like, what, people love me, I was the popular, you're like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I know who I am, like whatever.
Solid. That is true.
Yeah, so that to me, and it seems like you say it very calmly as well. So it's just like whatever words we're saying at each other, like it sounds like you know yourself well, you're comfortable with yourself, which could be a thing if you were an INTP, can't say words. So yeah, that's a thing that could be, like, you know, we could tack it up on the board. Could be savior.
Yeah. Gray asked that question of Renee, not me, but I'll say the thing that I'm most unsure about with Renee's typing is just works over vibes. What? Like, I feel like Renee can definitely handle works, but vibes is over works. Like, I don't know.
Vibes over what? Over
that, like, the idea that she's thinking before feeling is odd to me. Even if it's like, well, she has double activated FE, so she's better at that than the average INTP. I'm like, no, I feel like she's good at feelings above thinking. And I don't know, there's other ways to explain, like, it's just our relationship, and that's the role I serve versus the role she serves. But all that explanation, the double activated FE explanation, both to me feel like those are hard to falsify. You can argue them either way. You could say, well, Steve, your feeling is less strong because it's your double activated fourth. Oh, Renee, your feeling is stronger because it's your double activated fourth. I want something more solid to grab onto, like me seeing Pete Buttigieg walk around going, oh, there's definitely a connection there. Or you, Mel, seeing Judy Greer and going like, oh yeah, there's a connection there.
Yeah, like this is happening.
But we've seen someone where we're like, oh yes, she's definitely the same type as that person, whatever type they are.
But could it be that Renee and we're like talking about Renee like she's like our project right now.
Let's you and me talk about Renee. Let's talk
No,
about
but like really, like is it because Renee's principles, her thoughts, her like logic is like we take care of people. So like
I've wondered that too.
and then if like with the double activated FE is like supporting that, you know, like it's really like whatever. My life is different, of course, but like it's really important to me to work with the homeless community in New York. So that's a big priority for me right now. And I like volunteer with like this shower bus. So, you know, I'm not like saying this to be like, I'm a great person if you didn't know.
No, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I help people so much. like I don't want to be.
We're like not doing that, but I just like feel like such a jerk.
I would never say it so like forwardly if we weren't like, these are our personalities.
Yeah.
I'm like, love people.
No, but really, like, it's just like, no, of course we do this because we take care, because people are valuable. Like, of course we make them feel special. Like, this is important. So I can see also how you're really like, you know, as a decider, allegedly, I keep using that word. I want to punch myself, but like,
I love the, yeah. The word allegedly is the mood right now.
But like, you know, like you're just like, yeah, people are special. So, and I, Renee, value like making people feel comfortable and all that. So I could see how that's like, you know, 1 point for team decider / INTP.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Your process is like very similar to how I've like tried to fit it into the whole. Okay, anyway.
Let's check in with the tribe. Well, I'm gonna look at the tribe.
Yeah, check in with that tribe.
Decider trap. No, Lisa, but I already knew I was a decider. Why did you set a trap for me? Rude.
What?
Depending
on whether she has a consume story or a blast play story would help. Consumes really do tend to have channel changing stories about themselves at the center, eliminating DE first. Yeah.
Wait, yeah, I'm trying to like process what Dion just said. Settling on whether you have a consume like, do you know what a consume story is? Because like I feel like I should know this, but Dion, could you give us an example? Story / compared to a blast play story. I feel like I don't know what that would be. I know
I think I kind of understand because Dave definitely said some things about that ish in my feedback with like consume play, like you're pinging around lots of different ideas with you as the subject.
Oh, right. That was just in the Tina Fey class too. I knew I should have known this.
And I guess a blast play would be more like one track about everybody or all. I can't explain that. But here's what I think is odd about. First, I'm gonna get rid of that ocean. This has just become a fun game. We'll look back on this video with fun. Remember that silly sound we had?
We'll start doing it even when the sound doesn't show up.
Yeah. Later in the night. It's bizarre because in these circumstances, I am talking about myself. Like the point of this video and the point of the typing video is talking about yourself.
Yeah.
However, if I'm meeting up with a friend, I would very likely not talk about myself until like the end of meeting with someone. So it's just kind of strange. Like if we were just going to have a hangout and not have this be a YouTube thing, I would have asked you so many open-ended questions about yourself, and I would have probably had you, like, at least in my perspective of myself, I would have just had you tell everything you think about you to me. I would like get you into my trap, and then at the end I'd be like, here's 3 things about me, goodbye.
Yeah.
That's how I usually feel. And like when I'm on the phone with my friends or whatever, which is what I do as a mom now, I'm like, I'm the mom on the phone with my friends.
Well, and
I feel like that's how
superpower,
it usually goes.
the
but
superpower you have at parties that I'm always like, is like you're at the party and you can just find a person to talk to and be like, oh yeah, and like ask them about something they like, then they'll be like, oh yes, I love French stamp collecting. Do you love? And you're like, yeah, and they're
I'll be like, oh,
really?
stamps are so nice.
And you're like,
then they'll just
sure,
keep going.
And
then
like,
I'm so happy for them.
and then you
I can see how this is NE though. Like you just like find the thing about the individual, like, and then I'm doing this like I'm like zooming in an iPhone screen or something, and just like like celebrate that. And that's also NEFE play, like you target it, you find there it is, that's the thing they like, and then you like elevate them. Like
I just go away. Then I just don't talk. I'm like, now I don't have to do anything. Like I'll just step back. No. Anyway. How did we get here? The blast play or consume play.
oh yeah.
She's the first person who's double activated demon seems like savior. Yes. The people she's close with who even understand. Yeah.
I think
it is hard to do this looking at what you all say and talking with the peoples at the same time. Thank you for the things you say. This is nice that you're all here watching us. Cool.
Zoom stories look like random stories about themselves. Oh yeah, we've been going for a while. You guys like tell me when it's.
We got 2 more questions here.
Yeah, Gray had 2 more questions. So she asked what you felt unsure of, but now if you're typed correctly, assuming you're typed correctly, what are things that work well about this typing? What are things that make sense between us? I think you said that any SI could make sense.
Yeah. I think like it would make sense that we have like idea spirals. We used to think that it was him ideaing and me refining like NI style. But now I see it more as like this just like cloud, this like building of stuff that's happening. And I also think that, I mean, hold on.
Wait, I'm looking at this question again. Let's see.
I think the other thing that makes a lot of sense to me is the possibility that both of us would have just demon SI, because all the things that we get hung up on as a couple are just sensory things that we're like, what, a thing? But yeah, I mean, I don't see how that is SI specifically.
Yeah. I think Savior intuitive demon sensory, we were like, yeah. And then Gray's final question of the 3 is, what would all 3 of you advise someone on interacting with your type?
Go for it.
What would I advise someone interacting with my type? To start the conversation by like reaching out and being friendly. That's what I find is like if someone else sets the mood of like, hey, you're cool, we're friends, want to talk. Like it's helpful if someone sets that vibe, I can NEFE play with it and be like, yeah, sure. And if they set like a topic of conversation that's open-ended enough that I can find something in it, then I will find a way in. I think that helps. I think if there's something outside to kind of direct my brain at.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just be like, I'm looking for an in, but I'm not sure. And like I say, like the consume is just like taking in, and then when the play happens, it's almost like I'm doing it. It's like it's doing me. Like
yes.
Happens. So play, I guess. I guess play, but then take breaks. Give the play a little bit so the INTP feels included, and then give some downtime.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Melody?
I mean, that like made me think of like, yeah, if you, I mean, I don't know if it's exactly what you meant, but like, if you're interacting with me and like, you know, we're hanging out, like if you offer up some, like if we have interesting, like, yeah, like topics, or like if we went to an arcade or like have something to bring up, I guess that's good for play. I guess that's not really great, but like, I guess interacting with me, like if you're going to bring me to some sort of like scene that is like fancy or where you have to be appropriate, like a lot of FE basically, just know that I may like get my don't control me bro vibe happening, like not necessarily that I will, I'm not like it's some sort of ticking time bomb, but like maybe when interacting with me, if we're doing a thing, we should probably keep it low key, and or I guess don't expect me to do all the high FE things without a struggle. I guess. Like I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know, like something at like a fancy restaurant or like a sommelier type of situation. Like I'm not going to be like appropriate. So use caution. I think. So that you can't bring me to those places, but if there's some sort of like scene that's going on, I'll probably like be snarky. That's all. That's what I thought of.
If I had to give advice on how to interact with your INTP types, I feel like it would, hold on, before it overtakes us.
I think it's soothing. See, I'm just like, could you be in a
calm? It's calming. Yeah, I mean, my advice for that would be like the INTP isn't necessarily saying one thing that you're going to get right away. So you need to listen to the whole thing and not assume what the INTP is saying. Like the INTP has lots of different ideas and they're not necessarily telling you their opinion. They're telling you an idea within their world. And the thing that I find that causes the most friction with interaction with you is just people assuming what you're saying without taking in each piece of information, because the INTP is laying this groundwork that is extremely comprehensible if you're not like going to emotionally assume or jump in with your already set ways. So it's like you kind of have to be open-minded and ready to like it might be a little cold, but it's like extremely well-meaning.
Yeah, I thought of something as you were saying that, which is
I did too.
Don't try to assume which team the INTP is on.
Yeah.
Because the INTP doesn't just see two teams.
Yeah, 100%. We are, I feel like, really great devil's advocates in that way, because we can see everything, which is annoying sometimes. And yeah, like that just made me think of like, be patient, because we're gonna like talk around like a whole world, and and that will happen. So prepare for that. It's probably not going to be straightforward SF. Like,
yeah. Now I'm trying to think of what I would advise someone on interacting with me, because that, like what you guys said, I would not apply to myself.
Just thinking about you as Renee.
Just me as Renee. I'd be like, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna mom you. I don't know though, like how would it make it easier for me to interact? I don't know, like the thing is you coming to me with like a very clear, you being very clear helps me a lot, because I don't think that I'm that clear. Like, I don't think that I make sense a lot in a way that I don't think you worry about. I am not confident that I am logical or saying things in order in a way that everyone's going to understand. Like that's something I work on. So like when you come in with what I think is not one of my strengths, that's what really helps me. Like when I meet a high thinker, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, but apparently that could be wrong. Maybe I just like-minded people and I'm actually a narcissist. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
See, one last question in the chat from Adrian A. So if you've kind of removed FI from your stack, it really is debating between DI and DE. Does Steve sometimes feel like you don't stand up for your own DI?
Me?
Yeah.
Do I feel
Think
like
that you don't stand up for my DI?
Does Steve feel like you sometimes don't stand up for your own DI? Does Renee not stand up for Renee's own DI? It's really tricky because I think that she usually gets people on board with what she wants to do. And I don't think it gets presented as like, I feel like I more often present like, no, I don't want to do that. Or no, I don't think that's what we should do. Whereas I think you're better at being like, oh, that's a cool idea. How about we do it this way? And then manage to get people to do things your way.
I mean, whenever you describe me, it sounds like I'm a double decider. But
okay.
Yeah.
Like how? Well, how do you mean?
Oh, you just always seem to imply that I switch between tribey things and self things.
I mean, Lista says double deciders.
Also, yeah, it would seem like they're the ultimate like, well, I can see it either way. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Like this type is the most double decider of INTPs.
That is true.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see. Like, yeah, like double deciders are just like the ultimate. Just like, people can be crazy, whatever. But like, for us, what is it? It's like, I think it's just we just care about what's true and not like what we. I mean, for me, I guess what I personally care about or whatever. Like it's just like, well, hold on, we don't know. There's this and this, and here's the facts. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense. The most double decidery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely feel like Renee gets what the tribe is feeling quicker than I do, for sure. But I don't know. It's hard to tell when you're in opposition with the tribe.
Huh?
It's hard to tell when you're in opposition with the tribe.
Oh, when I'm in opposition with the tribe.
Yeah, I can't think of too many instances where I'm like, well, everybody else was saying this, but Renee was saying that. And I could probably rattle off many instances of like, everyone else was on this page, but Steve was thinking this instead.
Yeah, you're pretty obvious.
Yeah.
How do you feel about empathy, Steve? Because it sounds like in your experience, Renee, like you are like this bug, like you know what's going on with the tribe, and that's like you're not questioning it. But like, how do you feel about? And I know it's kind of a broad term, but empathy, like as far as how do you feel about empathy?
How do I feel about it?
Well, for Steve as well, because it seems like Renee, like you're aware that you are aware of the tribe.
I worry about people a lot, or like I worry how they're doing. It's actually something I've worked on. Is I like have had to like put away other people's problems, like to the point where.
Like knowing that a person is sick.
Like even if someone posts on Facebook that like someone in their family died, if I like know them kind of in a way where I'm like on the fence about should I help them, like I will be sad about it like for several days. Whereas I think you're more compartmentalized and don't have as much like, yeah, you just don't have as much worry about other people. And it's not that you don't care, but like I have worked very hard on it, but like I used to have days ruined by like big waves of feeling sad about something that I didn't have control over in someone else's life.
Yeah, and I feel like occasionally I will encounter a situation where I'm like, oh, I understand exactly how that person is feeling, and it impacts me very strongly. And there are other times where I'm like, I don't know what it's like to be in that situation. I don't know what that feels like. I feel like Data from Star Trek The Next Generation now. Wish I had an emotion chip.
I wonder, because I relate to what Renee is saying, where I like feel it so much. I'm like, I cannot go about my business without feeling someone else's something. Could be like a, society in the US values, women have feelings and men do not have feelings or whatever. They don't show emotions type of thing. But like, no, I just was asking because I have an experience where if like somebody next to me is crying, I will burst into tears. Like, and that happens more often than not. So I'm wondering if like just the feeling stuff, because I think it's demon.
In an actual emotional situation, if I'm with someone, I am actually very steady and calm for them.
Yeah.
I cannot actively help them. I'm very upset. If I'm in the action of helping them, I am fine.
Good, yeah.
But if I can't help them, I get very upset.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess that was like a random data point I was gathering there. I was consuming.
What is this INFJ confirmed?
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, wait, what was it?
What made you say that? Melissa?
What was it?
We're all just gonna stare at the chat.
Like, tell us. We like lag with the chat lag there because we're like talking.
And we're like, we don't get it. I don't know what you guys are talking about at all.
What's your inside joke? You damn. Who's the types that have inside jokes? I forgot.
So many inside jokes happening in this chat, and I'm like, not on top of it. Oh. Well,
Okay.
that's what
empathy. Got it.
The big empathy and the how Steve thinks I manipulate people all the time.
It's not a bad thing. It's also influence.
Yeah.
It's also when people are like, I feel not good about things, they go to Renee because she can help them feel better about things.
Yeah.
Now it just sounds like we're bragging how good I am at people.
Lisa, we were literally asking. I think infodom is a thing too. I feel like we like soak in, like, I think it really is a thing. But like we weren't saying like we can't take a joke. We just literally did not. We lost track of what part you were talking about. Right? Am I right, guys? I'm trying to like.
I was saying that it was a joke.
Yeah, no, I know, but like we were asking her what part did she mean the INFJ was confirmed. Yeah. I'm doing type communication. I'm delivering the info. And because at the end here, she said, sometimes I joke, guys. It's like, well, we can take a joke. We simply
missed the timing, I think.
That's correct. Yeah. No, but I think empathy is demon FE. Like, I mean, it's anecdotal, but I think
that's absolutely possible. That's what's so strange is the deep demon inside me is the thing that is upsetting or whatever. That's just seems so backward, but I'll think about it. Yeah.
We'll think about it. Well, Melanie, it's been a great chat.
It has
been. Guys.
Been a lot, though. We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, I know. It was like, it's super. I think it's the infodom. I'm just like, I'm gonna soak up everything. Like, so yeah, it was really great chatting with you guys.
Great to talk to you. Thanks
for having me.
Came by and offered us nice chats and questions, etc. And we'll see you around. Bye-bye, community.
Bye.